Good morning. Happy Monday, guys. Welcome back. My name is Louisa. I am a first year special education teacher teaching early childhood special education. And I am getting set up for the day. So let me show you what the plan is. I am a early childhood special education teacher, but I function more as a resource teacher for kindergarten and pre-K. I only have one student in pre-K, but I mainly take out my kindergarten students about 3 times throughout the day. So let me show you what I have set up. So if you haven't been here for my classroom setup, this area here is my language arts area. I am going to be teaching phonics and reading today. And so let me show you what I have. This is my guided reading teacher book here. I'm going to be using this today. So I got this from Learning at the Primary Pod. I love it. It's a great resource, so I will be using this. This is my teacher book, and then I have my students' books here. So I went ahead and already tabbed them, so that way whenever my students come here, we can easily just flip to the page that they need to. So to begin with, we are going to practice writing our name. So this has been used before, as you can tell, but the students will be practicing their names and just getting accustomed to writing their names by themselves. This will be about a 1-minute practice for them. So every single time we come in here and we do guided reading, we are going to be doing this. When we are done, we're going to come over here and we're going to be sorting letters if they have holes or no holes. So this is my scribble scratch of a lesson plan. I did actually lesson plan. I just kind of wanted to write down like how I was going to do it, like the agenda. So I have some dry erase markers here, so my students are going to be using that to be able to write their names. And then I bought one of these, and then one of my sweet friends bought this off of my Amazon wish list. So thank you, Eva, for helping me out, because this is going to be used in my classroom no matter what grade I teach. So they're going to be taking these magnetic letters, and they're going to be separating them out. So they're going to separate them out if they have holes or no holes within the letters. They're just trying to get used to how they look, things like that, and get used to that letter. After we are done with that, we are going to go into does it rhyme or not rhyme? So let's go over to my teacher book. All right, so what I like about this is that it really gives you an activity of what you're going to say, what you're going to do, but then you can also tweak it how you want to do it. The students are going to be figuring out if the word rhymes or does not rhyme. So we are going to be practicing this after we do the sorting of letters. When we are done with that, we are going to go into our letter sound chant. So here is our letter sound chant, and what is going to happen is they'll flip to it and we'll say apple, apple, ah, ah, ah. Butterfly, butterfly, b, b, b. Candy, candy, k, k, k. So we're just going to go through as many letters as we can and just really practice those sounds. Then when we are done with that, we are just going to hop over to reading a book. So we're going to talk about the front cover, the spine, the back cover, and then we're also going to talk about if this is real or not real, so nonfiction or fiction. This is a CD book, and I think that it would be fun for them to hear it. I have one of my students gets really sad at drop off, so I think that this book would be really helpful for her to hear, and we're going to talk about this book. And so this is what we have planned for our reading phonics time during the day. So for math, we're going to begin doing counting strategies. Excuse the mess on my desk. I will have this cleared off when my students come in. But what we are going to do is we are going to read Pete the Cat and his 4 groovy buttons. And so we are mainly going to focus on counting. So we're going to count his buttons. This is also a CD book, so I think it would be fun for them to hear. I'll pause it, we'll count, and make sure that I'm really emphasizing the point and touch to count each one and that we're not counting really fast. Then we're going to practice our counting. So our strategies is count and touch, and then count and scoot. So I'm going to hang these up as I teach them on the anchor chart here. So I will be hanging these up once I teach the skill, and then we are going to practice. So each of us has a little container like this, and I got these from Dollar Tree, so those are really helpful. And then inside them there are buttons. I have 10 of them. So each student is going to sit in their chair, and then we are going to count the buttons. So I'm thinking also I need to get a dice and see if we can count them that way too. So this is what we're going to work on for math. So it is my lunch time right now / planning time. My planning and my lunchtime are back to back, and I really like that because typically I eat really quickly and then I can like plan or work on things that need to get worked on in the classroom. So I wanted to let you guys know, I feel like the things that I created for my lesson are working really well. I spoke with my inclusion teacher, and she seems to like what I'm doing in the classroom and really helping to support my students, which is really great. And so if you don't know from last week, I will be moving classrooms. So I will be working on trying to kind of figure out that process and that move, and also work in like how I can move my stuff a lot. I don't know. Some of the stuff that I do have in this classroom, I might not use in that classroom because it is a whole different classroom. So we'll see, but I did want to give you guys an update. I'm going to eat really quickly because I'm really hungry, and then I'm going to go ahead and work on some IEP things, and I'll give you guys an update a little bit later. Happy Tuesday. We are here. I am so sorry I did not get to vlog yesterday afternoon because it was extremely busy, and I did not know we had a school staff meeting, faculty meeting, and so I carpooled with my husband, so I felt so bad that he had to sit around at his job and wait for me to get off work. So I immediately left, went and picked him up, and was unable to kind of like let you guys know what we did. So I did want to show you my PowerPoint slides that I have been using and what we did yesterday for our SEL and behavior lesson for the part of our day. So it's I do like a 30-minute lesson, and it was a lot of fun. So let me show you what we did yesterday. As I'm doing that, I'm also going to show what I'm going to be doing today. So before I actually do that, I got this little prize basket, and I'm so excited. There's so many goodies in here. So I'm gonna have to work on putting this stuff away here in a little bit. And I don't know what's in here, so I'll have to see. But I got that yesterday during the faculty meeting. So I got 2 packages of dry erase markers. That'll come in handy. Got a package of pens. some highlighters, pencils, some more highlighters. I got red pens, black pens. I got 2 dry erase magnetic dry erasers. Got 2 things of stickers. Got some notepads. Some more pencils. More notepads. More notepads. Some dry erase markers. Got a magnet. Dry erase board. More dry erase markers. Some notepads. And 3 notebooks. Got some more pencils. Hand sanitizer. This will come in handy for sure. Candy. Okay, so let me show you the slides for yesterday, and then immediately afterwards I'll show you what my plan is for today. So yesterday was Monday, August 22nd. I have the students come into the classroom and we say hello, and we just kind of greet each other and welcome each other into the classroom. Then we go into reading and phonics. So our goal is that we will be able to identify rhymes and identify and form letters. So you guys saw yesterday what the plan was for the day as far as our read aloud, name practice, letter sorting. Today we are still going to go over rhyming, so I do need to change that. I was going to do syllable clapping, but our goal for this week is that we will be able to identify rhymes and letter sounds and free choice. So for SEL, yesterday what we did was I had an introduction of our goal of what we would be able to do. So our objective for our SEL lesson is that I can sit when the teacher says. I get this curriculum from Teachtown. If you don't have it, it's really amazing. So I used the Teachtown video and then the activity, and then we did a video. So we went over vocabulary. So when what we did is we talked about the word sit, and then this would appear. So we would say, okay, what does sit look like? What does it mean to be quiet? What does it look like to listen? And what does I spy mean? So we went over vocabulary. And then after that, we went over our expectations for the goal. So sit when the teacher says, what does that look like? Sit on the floor or in a chair, listen to the teacher, stay seated until the teacher says to stand. So we're talking about what that looks like. Then we did the stand up, sit down from from the learning station. And they loved it. They had so much fun. And what I like about it, it's like the students had to listen to know what the directions were. And so we practiced sitting down correctly and standing up in a fun way. So that's what we did yesterday. So that brings us to today. So today is Tuesday, August 23rd, 2022. We're going to come in, we're going to say hello, greet each other. Then it goes into reading and phonics. So this week we are going to continue working on rhyming and then identifying and forming letters. We have our read aloud. We're going to do name practice, letter sorting, rhyming activity, letter sounds, and then a free choice after they have done all of our reading and phonics lessons. All right, so then math is our next thing that I pull students out for 30 minutes. And our goal and objective is that I can count objects up to 10. So our schedule is we're going to review our goal. We're going to read 10 Black Dots by Donald Cruz. We're going to practice the count and touch and scoot. This is a strategy that we learned yesterday. So our counting strategy is to count and scoot. So they will take an object and then scoot it over. 1, 2. So the next counting strategy is the count and touch. So as they're counting, they will line up all of the objects and then count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are our counting strategies. So we're going to continue practicing those today. We are going to do that by still using our buttons. So we're going to practice that still. Then here is the book that we are using, 10 Black Dots. It's a really cute book. 1 dot can make a sun. So we're going to read this and then practice the count and touch with that book. Then I printed out a activity that we will do, the 10 dot book. So let me pull that out so that way you can see what that looks like. All right, so I printed this all on cardstock. So this is not all going to happen all at once. I got this from Art with Jenny. It was free on TPT. I will make sure that I link this down below in case you want to use it in your classroom. So here is the 10 black dots. We're going to make a book. So, the first one has 1 black dot, and they're going to try to make something out of that dot. And, you know, my students are still learning how to draw. I don't expect it to be perfect, but I will write down what they tell me it is. Oh, this is blank, or this is whatever it is. And I will write that down here. And so each of them will get a couple of pieces of parts of the book, and then I will also create some too, because it's just 3 of us, and so we're going to create this book. It's not going to happen all at once. It is going to be something that we do throughout the rest of the week and finish that up. So that is our counting book that we will be working on. Happy Wednesday, guys. We made it halfway through the week. Yay. So, I have been here for about 40 minutes. It's 7:15, so contract hours begin in 15 minutes at 7:30. So, I have been working my butt off to try to get my caseload figured out as far as like when IEPs need to be due, when I need to contact parents, and just really getting all that dialed in. There are a few things that I still need to do to make sure that I am scheduled for all of my annual ARDs that are coming up. I do still need to contact a couple parents to make sure that things are set, but that's what I have been working on this morning. As far as my reading and phonics goes, I'm going to basically do the same routine with my students. We are going to read a book first, name practice. We're going to practice rhyming words. We're gonna do Willoughby Wallaby Woo again and practice rhyming words. We are also going to focus on letter sounds. and then immediately afterwards they're gonna have a little bit of free time. But I did tell them, because I noticed yesterday when my students came into the classroom, they took a really long time. Oh, I need to go do this, or I need to use the restroom. And so by the time that we got started with our routine, they only had like a minute or two left to be able to do free center time. So one thing I am doing when they come into the classroom is we're going over our expectations and what that looks like. Okay, quickly before people start showing up, in this classroom, my classroom has 4 doors, and so people go through my classroom to get to the other classroom that's right behind me. So as far as reading and phonics, I kind of went through that. And then math, we're going to continue working on our book. We're going to continue practicing our count and scoot, as well as our count and touch. My students seem to be really picking up on that really well, so we're going to do that as well. And then as far as SEL, we're going to continue practicing to sit when the teacher says. They are still kind of struggling with that, but when they're in here, they do great. But we're just practicing it in action in the classroom with our students. So just wanted to give you guys an update. Good morning. Happy Thursday. We're almost through the week. So I am so sorry I did not film the rest of the day after yesterday. After I said good morning, it was extremely busy. I am trying to get as much done for ARDS that I have coming up. And so during my planning time, I was trying to work on that, trying to figure out what I needed to do on my side and get that all figured out. And so I just didn't have time yesterday to pick it up. And then immediately after work, I ran over to pick up my husband. We are carpooling every now and then together because he works about 3 minutes from where I am working. And so I went over to pick him up really quickly because we went to go have like a little dinner date because we haven't done that in a while. So today we are having a lockdown drill. And so I need to figure out how to cover my door. Let me show you. So here is my door, and I need to have this right here covered. I went ahead and got some butcher paper black, of course, because my theme is black and white, to laminate. So I'm gonna laminate it and roll it up and put it on here so that way it's ready to go for lockdown. I don't think I'm going to have students in here during that time, but I'm gonna go ahead and get it ready. So that way if there is, I'm ready to go and I don't have to worry about trying to figure out how to cover the door. All right. So I wanted to walk you through on what we're doing today for our reading and phonics. We're going to keep the same format for the lesson of reading and phonics. Today, my plan is to read Alphabet Adventure. I'm trying to get my students to become familiar with the different letters. And so I'm going to read this at the beginning of our lesson. All right, I have these already prepped and ready to go. With my students' names in it. I'm not going to show you that for privacy reasons, but I will show you what it does look like. So this is obviously my name. I wrote their name up at the top, and then I wrote dotted lines down here for the students to be able to trace. So we're going to continue working on name practice. They're still learning how to write and spell their name. I do have a resource that I'm planning to use. It is a name folder resource, and I just feel like that they might get a little bit more out of just tracing their name, and it's a little bit more hands-on. So my plan is this weekend to get that planned and prepped for them, so that way next week when we come in, they will be able to have that. But it's something that I have to type out and laminate and cut the pieces for it. So it does require more work out of me. But with everything going on with all of our art meetings that need to get done like as soon as possible, that's been what I've been focusing a lot of my attention on, to try to get that all done. So it's gonna happen. It's just it might take me a little bit to get it done. All right, and then the next thing that I am planning to do with my students is we are going to continue practicing Willowbee Wallaby Woo. And then today I am actually going to start asking them to complete what a rhyme is. So we're going to kind of push this a little bit further. I think that my students are kind of at different levels. I want them to become independent in what we're doing. And then I'm going to start kind of doing more of like a center type of reading and phonics. So one student will go and sit over here and they will complete their name folder. Once I get that complete, they will start sorting letters, things like that, that they can do by themselves. Then over here with me, then I'm gonna focus on some skills that my students need a little bit more attention on, because they are slightly at different levels. I just feel like one student is ready for the next step of rhyming. The other student is just needing a little bit extra support. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is start doing that, implementing that next week. So this week, I just want them to know what the routine is, what the expectation is when they come into the classroom, and how to do it by themselves and become more independent by themselves, kind of making sure that they understand the procedures and the routines of what I'm asking them to do. And then I'm gonna start just pulling one-on-one and start working with them to really focus on the skills that they need for them to be successful. So anyways, we're gonna work on this. I did want to mention that every single time we do come in, I do go over our listening and what that looks like and sounds like. So we go over our checklist and then we talk about where that is on our body, so that way we make sure that we're ready to learn. So that is what we're doing. I did, and they are starting to become really consistent with this. We are doing the let me see, the letter sound chant, and they're picking it up really quickly. So I just say apple, apple, ah, 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 butterfly, butterfly, b, b, b. So we go over the sound chart, the sound chant. So when we do it, it just becomes automatic for them. For math, we're going to continue. Let me walk on over here. We're going to continue working on our counting strategies of count and scoot. So this is the anchor chart that we created together, about what that looks like. And then we are also going to continue working on our books. So let me show you what book I am talking about and how that's coming out. We're going to continue working on our counting, practicing, and our count and scoot. So let me show you what that looks like. It's coming out really cute. So this resource is also linked down below. I know I mentioned it, I think on Monday or Tuesday in this vlog, but I'm going to create something for 10 and 5 because we don't have enough days for them to complete all of them. So I'm going to do 10 and 5. And so I'm going to make sure I don't show names. But this student decided that they wanted to make a cat. And then this student decided to make some bunnies. So this student decided that they made a donut. And then the next student, for the number 2, made eyes. So I think they're coming out really cute. My plan is to laminate them and then put them in the library center. One of my students really enjoys the library center, loves the big saucer chairs, and anytime we do free centers after we work, that is the first place that they go to. So I am planning to get a rug to just make it a little bit more cozy, and I am gonna put some more books out. And for some reason, this particular student loves looking at this book, loves it. I am so intrigued with the fact that they really just love looking at the pictures, and they just really enjoy looking at it for some reason. So anyways, yeah, I keep putting it back over here because this is where I had it. So it is 7 o'clock now. I have 30 minutes before contract hours begin for me. So I'm gonna spend the 30 minutes making sure that I am set up for the rest of the day. I still need to figure out what I'm doing for SEL. I do have it planned, but I just need to make sure that I have all the materials put together. So I am gonna try to figure all that out. And then I don't know if I showed you, but I make sure that I put all of my materials in these Target bins. So these right here, and it's so nice because I know that all of my materials are in that bucket, and I don't have to like search around to get all my materials in order. So I'm gonna work on that and check my email because my email goes off crazy. And then also need to double check to make sure that one of the students that I'm supposed to have an initial art for, that they're in the system, so that way I can do my part. This has all been a learning time for me, and a little stressful because I'm trying to lesson plan, I'm trying to complete art, I'm trying to learn the new system, I'm trying to, there's just a lot of new things happening, and so I'm just trying to do the best that I can. And if you don't know me, I'm a perfectionist, and I need to kind of like let that go and say, okay, you know what, just do your best. That's all you can do, all that can be done. So that's what I keep trying to tell myself. Just do your best and the rest will come, right?